We're live, Will, whenever you're ready. What's up? What's up? Frequency Control Show. This is Rob. We got Willie Stride. He doesn't know how to work his camera, so we got to wait for a couple minutes. But
What up?
once he
What
figures that
up?
out,
I'm in the house.
he's there. All right. So today we're going to be talking about consistency. I had an epiphany. Will's been telling me about it a long time. Sometimes you'll get great information and you don't even recognize great information. A gem, if you will. And somebody will tell you something and you'll be like, yes, bullshit, but it's because you're not mentally ready for that information to understand it's good. And Will's been saying something for a long time, and that's do something consistently, or the right things consistently for long enough, and you're there, And so I always thought the right things. How are you gonna know they're the right things? You just got to do things. But what happens is when they happen to be the right things, sometimes you just don't know. It's just whatever is the best of your knowledge that you know is the right thing. And you do it long enough, things will start to happen. I had something happen to me this morning uh, because I've been doing something, the right things consistently and for long enough to where I've been doing that for the last year. I've been doing the right things for years, but not consistently. So just in the last year, since April 30th, I started doing them consistently, and now after a year, it's kind of long enough, and things are starting to evolve. It's kind of something we want to talk about, and again, it's got to be consistently. Just thinking about, you know, to do things consistently, you have to maintain a focus level, and again, your focus becomes your reality. So if you can't focus and you don't focus on what you're trying to do in your next logical steps, and you do other things instead, that's your reality. But if you focus on whatever it is that you need to do to get to the next level, that becomes your reality, because your reality is whatever you're putting in. So, and that's part of your consistency. So, Will has a lot of notes on it. He's got 6 pages, so I'm going to let him go through that. Old topic, and he lost it. So,
Doing the right things consistently and long enough. And uh, what are the right things? You know, I can't tell you what the right things are, because you have to figure that out for yourself, because only you can tell yourself what the right things are. And pretty much it's like, how do you know what the right things are? How do you feel? If you're doing something and it feels like a sacrifice, it feels stressful, it feels like a struggle, it feels like a burden, then that's probably not the right things you need to be doing towards where you're trying to go. You know, um, even at like my job, people who show up to work, they show up with their heads down, they're sad, they're tired, they're unhappy, they're pissed off. They don't even realize that they're doing the wrong thing. They don't even realize it. They're not working on their goals. They're not working on their goals. They're not going to have, they're going to have a miserable life going every day feeling this way. They're not doing the right things because their actions aren't making them feel good, or maybe that is their dream, but they're focusing on the wrong things. They're not, maybe they are doing their dreams, but they're not focusing on growing or advancing, you know. Um, but yeah, so, you know, doing the right things. And generally, you're doing the right things if you enjoy doing them. That doesn't mean that the process is always fun. Don't get it confused, because there's part of the process of getting to where you want isn't always sunshine and pleasurable, but it's that end result that you're trying to chase. Therefore, you'll like doing things that you really don't like doing because you know they're getting you to where you want to go. So the right things. And then, do you have anything else on the right things? And then let's go to the next top one.
Yes. So the big key is you don't know a lot of times what the right thing is, because a lot of us are, we're just trying to figure this shit out, right? Life and success, and we're trying. There's no rule book behind any of it. That's why you have to have a great mindset. A lot of the great mindset is to overcome a lot of the obstacles to get there, but to where you can keep putting in the effort like you see it coming, even though you don't see it coming yet. You don't see any real progress yet, but you need to keep going. It's like not seeing the finish line, but you need to keep running like it's almost there. You're almost, when you see the finish line, you can beeline it towards there because hey, I can use off all this energy. I'm going. But when you don't see it, having a great mindset is what helps you keep hauling ass towards that finish line to being where it is you're trying to be. But the big thing is you don't know. We're just trying to figure it out. Most of us, figure out what it is. And some people know exactly what it is. And they're like that, I know what it is. It's to be a rock star. It's to be a big marketing guy, or it's to be whatever. And that's great. But whatever that is, whatever you do know, some people don't know. A lot of people are out there. I remember being in this spot after high school everybody's going to DeVry and they're going to their schools and like, what are you doing, Rob? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have parents. So I don't have someone helping me pay for school. Some people have parents and still don't get that. But point is, I'm not going to a school, and I'm too lazy to do the free shit to get into college, with the grants and all that stuff. So hell, I don't know. I'm gonna work at carpet exchange driving a forklift, and it's just a lot of us are trying to figure it out. But the biggest thing is you have to go with what you know in your heart and what you're trying to do or something. And some of you have to do soul searching to do it. But the big thing is you don't always know what the right thing is. So sometimes you just got to do something that you feel is in that direction. If you are a person who seeks more, if you're a guy who's just like, hey, my goal is to drive this forklift for the next 40 years and then eventually draw a pension at the end of the year or the end of that time and retire. And then you know what? Then you know what you want and do that consistently long enough and eventually you'll draw that pension. So that's cool. But if you want to do something a little bit more grandiose and bigger, it's and you don't know what that is, just do something you feel is going to get you to where it is, like Will says, that will make you feel the way you think you'll feel when you hit that quote unquote finish line. So you don't always know what it is to do consistently and long enough. But if you do something that is in the vein of kind of what you have an idea of where you want to go, do it consistently and long enough, and hell, that might give you a detour to the thing you actually figured out you actually want to do. Will's done that like 50 times in his life. He does it consistently long enough and goes, you know what, I don't want this, but doing this I realize I really want to do this, and then he can do that consistently long enough until some result happens. But he did something consistently and long enough to sometimes realize that's not what he wants to do, or that iteration of it. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to do something. You know what I mean? But you'll find the right thing. And even for me, I just picked the things I thought were right, and I've been doing consistently long enough. And now I'm starting to see myself being able to take advantage of opportunities and start to write my own future because I have a good foundation of things behind me that I've done because I've been consistent. And the one thing is the promise to yourself, you know you're going to be consistent. So you know when you take advantage of an opportunity that you're going to be able to deliver on that because you figured out a way to fill your life with that behavior to where you can take advantage of that opportunity and not squander it, you know.
This is why, for those of you tuning in, you need to click the link that's in this video and download your daily takeoff checklist, because this will help you this is why I'm heavily on the thinking side of things, because when you look at, creating your definite main game, your next step, you're thinking about what you want next, so now you have that goal that you're excited about, something that's, big enough that it excites you, but small enough that you believe you can achieve it, so now your actions that you're going to take, your next logical hustles to achieve your main game, your next action steps, you are deliberately creating your action steps to achieve something you specifically want. Now, your actions, you're doing the right things. And how do you know you're doing the right things? Because it's feeling good, because these things are leading you towards your main game, what you want, what you decided you want. That's why this, to me, this thinking part and getting your mindset right and thinking about what you want and defining what you want, and then from there, knowing what you want, now you can create the things you need to do to get there. And you do those things, those right things, consistently and long enough, and you will get to that main game. And then once you get to that main game, you go and you create another one, and you're going to be duplicating this for the rest of your life. This is how important that link on this podcast to that daily takeoff checklist is extremely important, because this is how you can line this up, and actually have something to take action on where you're going to be doing the right thing. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out, because you don't ultimately know. It's challenging enough just to define clearly what you want. I keep saying I want $1 million, but is that really what I want? Or do I just want the feeling of what I think $1 million will make me feel like, being able to wake up every day and do whatever the frick I want? Because really, it's not really $1 million I want. I just want that feeling of what I feel being a millionaire and being able to wake up every day and in the Jackson compound and blah, 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 all that really crazy shit, but that just that feeling of being able to wake up every day, do whatever I want, that's really more what I'm chasing, I just think $1 million going in that direction, that's what'll get me there. But it might not be. Shoot, it might be, making sure every kid in the world will never have to pay for swim lessons.
But I
would be just as happy with something like that.
But the reasonable thing is to understand that Jackson Compound's gonna cost you millions of dollars unless somebody gifts it to you, and the same thing with all those swim lessons for everybody. That's gonna cost millions of dollars. So the millions is probably a good goal to go for,
So let's see. So consistently. So what does consistently mean? Really, as much as humanly possible. Depending on what it is, every day, every week, every month, whatever it is, the more consistent you are at taking your action steps that you believe are the right things to achieve what you want, the more consistently you do that, the more confidence it's gonna build, the more excitement it's gonna, because you're gonna have that knowingness that you're gonna, you're gonna achieve it. So doing the right things consistently, and then long enough, man, long enough. The concept of time. So I like to talk about this because I believe in this too, like the myth of setting a time limit. You know, having to set a time limit on your goals, I personally agree, it is a myth. Because you don't know when the right time is. You might think it's the right time to do something, but ultimately it might not be, because something over here is going to happen for you, right? So you don't really know. So you can't really. And if you're enjoying what you're doing, then who cares how long it takes? If you're doing the right things and you're enjoying it and you're doing it consistently and it's making you feel good because you know where you're going, who cares how long it takes? You're enjoying the process. Success isn't a destination. It's the journey of getting there. The ups and the downs, the struggles and the triumphs, man. That's what it's about. You don't know when the time, and wouldn't it be like easier to, because once you got a time limit, what happens automatically? What if I don't hit it? Man, you know what I mean? Shoot, that doubt it's a killer, man. So why not just, hey, not worry about what time it is, and here we go into the, the bamboo tree and all that stuff. You don't know how long it takes.
Why don't you
just
why don't you expand on that bamboo tree?
All right, man, the bamboo tree, right? This is like the bamboo tree. It takes 7 years. They water it and plant it. They plant it, and then they water it and fertilize it 1 year. Water and fertilize it 2 years. Second year, water and fertilize it third year. 7 years, there is nothing. And then all of a sudden, in 60 days, it grows 90 feet. In 60 days. After 7 years. Now, if they wouldn't have watered it and fertilized it for any of those years, it would have never grown. So here's the kicker though. Did it grow 90 feet in 60 days? Or did it grow 90 feet in 7 years? With no results except for 60 days after 7 years it grows 90 feet. That is some shit. It's the same, man. It's the same thing. In life and achieving your goals, man, you gotta keep watering it. You gotta keep fertilizing it, sprinkling the powder on it. You don't know when it's actually gonna happen. So fucking time limit. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I don't care how long. I enjoy this process. Delayed gratification. That's man, living, you really want to boost the whole thing, and this is again about your thinking, right? This is why I'm heavy on this side of it. But like the thinking, right? Like, you should be living every day like you're already experiencing what you haven't achieved yet. You are feeling the results. You're experiencing these things before they even come. That's the trick, is experiencing the pleasure and feeling the feelings before you actually have it. It doesn't really get any deeper than that. You know,
I was just thinking about like, I mean, I might miss some people if you're younger, but like, Motley Crue, right? So, like, these guys, I just looked it up because I was thinking about it, and I know Mick Mars, he's older in their group, and all the years he just sat there and played guitar and wished for a dream and wished for a dream. A lot of people are hoping they make this dream by the time they're like 20, 21, 22, 23. And he just got into Motley Crue when he was 30 years old. Mind you, Tommy Lee, the drummer, is 19. Vince Neil, the singer, is 20 years old. The bassist is 23. So these are kids, and he's already, 7 years older than the oldest guy. And so, but he stuck with being a guitarist. So he's 30. Obviously, had enough time to where he can shred by that point. And that's when they just started the band. So then he had to go through the hole in the wall bars, the hole in the wall clubs, struggling as a band, which happens for the next 2 or 3, 4 years. And so now he's 35, 36 and still hasn't hit stardom. He's 36. A lot of people at 36 are like, man, my life's over. I don't know. This guy's stuck with it. Next thing you know, they became Motley Crue, who's still touring till this day, right? But didn't even start and finally get into the right band. But he did something consistently long enough, played his guitar, and he kept playing, and he kept playing with bands, and then he finally kept doing the guitar long enough, consistently, and met up with some guys in a band called Motley Crue. They're a bunch of little kids. He's 30 years old. He gets in that band, and now he's got to go through the meat grinder and work that out, playing hole-in-the-wall clubs and creating songs for the next 5, 6 years. Now he's 36. He still doesn't even know if that's for sure the right band. And then next thing you know, they hit it off and they blow up and then become big, and he's made it. But now he's 36. Most people wouldn't have waited the 4 and 5 years. I know a lot of people that wouldn't even wait 1 year before it's too hard for them and they quit. So the bottom line is, you played that guitar with no signs of hope till you were 30. Met a little kid group, jumped in a little kid group, 19-year-old people in the band, you know what I mean? And you started jamming out with them and then went through the shitter with them and all the way to where you finally started getting some buzz. Then you get signed and then you blow up. Think about that. Consistently long enough and then something will finally pop off for you.
as long as you're enjoying the activity, the seed is planted. You know, everything else is off your radar screen, man. You just know. You know, that's why this this action and thinking, they are freaking like linked, like it's crazy. So yeah, doing the right things. How do you know the right things? Generally, things that make you feel good, because you're hopefully defined what you wanted by defining a main game, figuring out some next logical hustles, your action steps to get there. Consistently, as much as you can. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? As much as humanly possible, if you want it to happen. Technically, probably the quickest is as much time as possible, so you can get to a point to where shit's just coming in and shit's just happening, right? You don't know how long.
Yeah, it's focused.
And then
It's the right. What I think what Will means when he says the right things, and I finally got that this morning, and he's been saying it for a long time. Is the right things is like, almost like, in another way said, very focused energy on the specific things you need to be doing consistently long enough, as opposed to um, when you have a laser focus on something, and you consistently do it and you keep it going, you know, that's the thing. You could also have five things that you think are the right things, and you're doing five things at once and watering down what you're trying to do instead of laser focusing and putting all your energy into one thing. You
That's
throw
why you got to clearly
you throw
define it.
a
You
basketball
have,
you throw a basketball at a window, and a lot of times it'll bounce right off the window. But you throw a little tiny rock, and that's pinpointing that same energy right in one little pinpoint spot. It'll break that window. And you want to break the barriers. You've got to pinpoint your energy. So the right things is more of a focused energy. So that's a big piece where it's like the right things is you got to be very focused and pinpoint what it is you're trying to do, and then put a lot of energy on that, as opposed to broadly doing randomness. Like, say you want to be a rap star, but you also make beats and you also do videos, but you're putting all your time and energy on all the other stuff. It's going to take you longer to get where you need to go, as opposed to
I
getting that
think
pin.
it's like an easier tool to use, doing it in steps like defining something you want, and then you kind of can figure out what actions you need to take to get there. And it's a little bit easier to keep going when you actually figure out where you're trying to go, compared to just randomly taking action without really knowing even what you want. This is why I think that thinking is so important, man.
Yeah,
To,
it's massive. It's massive to do what Will just said too, which is do the exercise. Do the exercise of defining how you want to feel, what it is you really want, and really think about that. My angle is only based on, like, if you don't know, just fucking do something. A lot of people don't know and just keep watching Netflix and the Game of Thrones, but I guarantee those dragons and shit in the Game of Thrones are not what you're trying to do. Unless all of a sudden you watch those, you get inspired, you want to make movies like that.
there you go.
Then you go to film school and all that. That's great. Most of the time, though, you guys are just gonna sit there and watch another series. So my thing is, you're gonna want to do the steps Will was talking about with the whole defining, and that's gonna take some sitting with yourself, by yourself for a long time, really identifying, how do I want to feel? What do I think I want? How does that make me feel? Now I know I just want that feeling, not necessarily the thing I want. And really start to flesh out what it is you're trying to do and what you want to do. What are you good at? What can you do that you would love to do? And run through the gamut of all that stuff. If you can't think of anything, I say just do something. What's the closest to something you think you can do? Because if you do this process and you're like, fuck, I don't know. I just want to do something. And the reason I the reason I identify with that is because I've been there before. I remember I can draw really good, but I knew that I wouldn't be happy drawing for a living. And so it's like I sat there and was like, what the hell am I going to do? I remember I did that for like 3 or 4 years. I knew I wanted to be a rap star, but I just thought, I don't know how that's going to happen. Then I knew I wanted it. I knew that's what I wanted, but I put that on the back burner. And then something happened really bad, and something good came out of it. I met some people, and then Will and I got together and we started doing it. And what's great about it is I figured out a way to flip that. Sure, I didn't become the rap star yet, you know what I mean? It's like, but I learned to produce from that whole situation. I learned to mix. I learned to do a lot of other supporting roles for music, and really to realize that I have a lot of business mindset. I have a lot of mindset where I'm an entrepreneurial spirit. I learned business from my stepdad at a young age. And I realized I want to be a mogul. I want to be someone who runs all that shit and does it like a Puff Daddy, if you will. Like, he does most of the music stuff, and sure, then he jumps on the mic and tears it up. I just happen to, be able to rap better than Puff Daddy. But the bottom line is, it's like doing that more is kind of what resonated with me. And it took a lot of years to figure that out, And sure, I tried my hand at all the other stuff, but you just never know. Like I said, consistently long enough. And I did it consistently, and then stopped, and then started producing more, and Will can attest to this. If I would have stuck with rapping, I would have done that. That would have been what happened. And my problem was getting consistent beats long enough, because it wasn't like nowadays. I was dependent solely on Will to have enough beats to where there were enough of them to where at least, say you had 1,000 and 10 of them make you happy and want to rap on them. The thing is, like, it's not like nowadays where you have YouTube and you could just jump on, you know, a billion beats that are out there. It's like a flood of beats. So I started producing, and then I started mixing, and I started liking to do that stuff. And then the problem is I watered down the right thing consistently. Now I'm doing a bunch of things all the time. Well, now guess what happened? I never did the rap thing because I did a bunch of other shit that wasn't the right thing consistently, which has to be laser focused, right? I started focusing on making beats and mixing. Well, what happens when you focus on making beats and mixing? You stop focusing on rapping, which you'd been working on since you were 20. So here you are, 27, 28. You're dope at rapping, but now you're starting on a whole new avenue, which is beats. And now and the next thing you know, that takes you another 10 years. Where I was right at the cusp, 3 feet from gold with the rap thing. But I didn't stick with rap consistently and long enough. I mean, Will and I were at a point when it was like, man, we had a lot of songs. Remember that shit? We were putting a lot of songs out. And then all of a sudden I met Snoop Dogg, or his uncles rather, at first, then Snoop. And it was like, oh, I'm going to be a producer. I know how to make beats and shit, like, and I know how to record and do all that stuff. And then now I'm not doing it. That now isn't long enough. Sure, it's music, but it's not the right thing consistently. I did that consistently, but I missed the long enough part. So I fell 3 feet from gold on the rap thing, because I could have been that Russ. I guarantee, like Russ, you just dropped that underground shit after, and it would have happened for sure. I absolutely know it. And because we were dropping some gems, we had some cool shit, and then I started doing the beat thing, and I did it consistently, but not long enough. I was with Snoop Dogg, I was doing all that stuff, and then I stopped. I had a kid, started deciding to go the corporate thing. Slowed the music down like to a halt, and then it's not until really now that I decided consistently I decided exactly what I want to do consistently and long enough. And it was this information that helped me refocus my mind and understand those things. You know, I left the 3 feet from gold each time, you know, and now I know. So when shit gets me down, I'm like, no, I'm not going to keep going because I'm probably just 3 feet from gold. I don't, you know, I know if I quit now, that's a for sure failure. But if I do it long enough, you know what I mean? The right thing consistently and long enough. And you'll see the guy that's a Dogecoin millionaire, I'll have beats on his page for sure. I'll have beats on his thing. And I'm giving them to him for free for sure. But this guy's got exposure to billions of people. And guess what? Or a billion people. There's only a billion people on the internet. But the bottom line is, you know, like 6 billion in the world, but like, you know, at least a billion. This is the Dogecoin millionaire. I'll have it on him. He knows Hip Hop DX. But it's because I've been doing the right thing consistently and just now being long enough. You know? But that consistency is hilarious because it's like, so you mean it took me 30 years or however many years, I'm 43 now, all these years, and I'm not there where I want to be yet. And it's like not realizing I am the bamboo tree, you know, that is there and just, you know, being watered still. But it's like funny that I could get more ground in the last year than I did all of my other years doing this music shit. Because I stayed consistent with the right things, and now the long enough is to be told. So it's the lack of consistency prior. Although I had consistent stages, I had a consistent couple years. I was right there with Snoop. You know, Will, how long was I in Vancouver, Washington? from when moving from Wenatchee, it took me literally a year and a half to 2 years, and I was already with Snoop Dogg. That quick. That quick.
Yep.
You know, so it's because I finally did it consistently, but I didn't do it consistently when I was in Wenatchee because I had too many sidetrack things. I was out camping and dirt biking and snowboarding and snowmobiling and freaking everything other, partying and going to the DJ thing with Brian and you know, wakeboarding and parasailing and boat, like skiing and, you know, everything but music. And so I had all the equipment and nothing ever happened. But when I was consistent, it would take only 1 or 2 years to get where I wanted to be. That's fucking mind blowing. Because in a span of time, you go like, well, but I've been doing music for all these years. It's like, well, I could pinpoint exactly where I was consistent, and go, yeah, that was about a year and a half, and I was with Snoop. That fast, a year and a half, boom, Snoop Dogg. And I mean, I was consistent. Taking all my vacations were strictly for music. So like I take a vacation from work for 2 weeks and do nothing but music, you know, and that was from frickin' when I was 26 to I was 28 when I got with Snoop. So it's like that happened, and then not being consistent 7 years. I had my child, and then all of a sudden being consistent now I have sky's the limit of what I want to do from here. You know what I mean? Sky's the limit. Shit's about to pop. I mean, because I have the skill sets, I have the ability of any pro, like whatever you want to do. You know, I can reach out to pros like, hey, I send you some beats? Like, no problem. Hey, I'll mix this for you, or hey, I want to put some stuff on here. You can do all that stuff. Hey, I've got a podcast. Hey, there's so many things consistently long enough. Same thing with like this show here. We're doing this show. We do it consistently and long enough, and you'll see what happens. You know, you'll see what happens.
We don't even know. We don't know.
You have no
but
clue.
Guess what? But it feels good. I enjoy doing this. I look forward to it every week. I know it's the right things because it's the right thing to do because of how I feel. It's the favorite part of my week.
Yeah, you know, I know
it's the right thing. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I was up at 5 a.m. cracking and getting all my business stuff out of the way. I have my own personal business and got up.
Not a lot of people are tuning in, but who cares?
Yeah. We have 0 viewers. So you know, the last person to subscribe was Will. So 3 months ago. So the thing is, and you guys will be watching this back and see it. But the bottom line is,
yeah,
I got up
catch up and watch this.
Yeah, I got up. It'll be inspiring to someone. I got up at 5 a.m. to finish my business stuff, finish my shipping shit for my business. Then I went and, you know, sourced product, came back and worked on my stuff so that I can tomorrow just start listing early in the morning and get the business stuff done at 5 a.m. And it was like, so that then got me opened up for time to mix today. So I was able to sit there and mix music all morning, or all afternoon rather. And I was able to mix. I was able to do all this other shit. Then I was able to get all this other stuff I needed to get done. Some dumb shit that nobody would care about. But the point was I was able to achieve a bunch of things. And by the time it hit 8 o'clock and we needed to be on this podcast, I'm telling you what, it shows person wants to join the meeting, you know, Willie Stride. And I'm tired. I kind of like trying to take a nap in my chair. Like maybe we'll wait for a couple minutes. And normally he doesn't get on quick. Because I'm beat, tired. I've been like more tired I've been in a long time. Excuse me. So more tired than I've been in a long time. And that's like, man, I'm beat, you know. But consistency. Sometimes you have to fight through the fact that you're tired. You know what I mean? Like now I'm okay. But there was this moment of vulnerability with the tired shit. Drink more water. You know, like I noticed that happen with the music thing. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to chill here on the couch. I'm tired. It's like that tired shit is bull. You have to drink some more water and just give it like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe close your eyes for a couple seconds and do whatever you got to do. But you'll pass that. You'll get that second wind, and you just have to. Yeah, water's
Water's the
huge.
key.
Water is a massive key. I have like a massive thing of water. Like you'd be surprised. It'll actually, when you feel tired, it's actually you're dehydrated, and if you realize that you're dehydrated and you're not tired, that like you'll do that. So, Ken Lewis, the guy who produces and mixes for like Kanye West and stuff, he's talking about that. He had a heart attack because he's just worked so hard all the time and never went to sleep, and at 34 had a heart attack. And the doctor says, "How often do you drink water?" Never. Drink a lot of energy drinks. It's like, dude, drink water. That you're. But I'm tired all the time. He's like, yeah, drink water. You're not tired. You're dehydrated. So I started drinking water like a mother, and that's how I was able to like launch a bunch of stuff this last year and have the energy to kind of keep going forward. And I'm not the most fit person, so I mean, if I started working out like crazy, and I did this morning, but if I started working out like crazy, I'd have more energy, to help push me through the day. But I'm a fat guy, realistically. I mean, I'm not like, you don't look at me and go, holy cow, but like, because I my weight, my weight, I hold my weight like well, but at the same time, I'm a fat, out of shape person. I'm sure I couldn't fucking run a block, but at the same time, that said, I drink more water and I can get a bunch of shit done throughout the day. I can actually get through the whole day and just and rip. But like I said, consistency. I was tired today. I was hoping Will called me and said, "Hey man, I can't make it." Because I'd be like, thank God I got to go to sleep. I'm so tired. Been up since 5. I've been grinding since 5. I have been mixing music, which is very, very fatiguing on the ears and gives you headaches and makes you tired, especially if you start cranking the shit and then you switch to headphones. And I'm mastering right now, so it's at the loudest point. It's not like the making of it. And here I am and I feel fine. But the point is consistency, and I was like, no, we got to keep doing this. This is the consistency thing. And what's hilarious is we've been consistently doing this, and maybe missed one weekend because I was out of town, and we couldn't figure out how to put it together. But most of the time, we figure that out for a year now. You know what I mean? Or at least very close to.
It's coming.
Yeah, very close. But but the point is we're gonna do it consistently long enough. There are 0 people watching right now, but you guys are gonna watch later. It won't be live anymore, but as we are live, I mean, there's probably no people watching, and we don't care. Consistently long enough. That tree grew in 60 days to 90 feet, or what did you say?
Yeah.
90 feet.
90.
After being watered for 7 years. So say Will and I do this for 7 years and we have no people, and then all of a sudden it grows to 90,000 subscribers, or 900,000 subscribers.
900,000 subscribers.
Then
In 60 days.
in 60 days, and it's because our catalog's so big because we've been going for 7 years, and they got this back catalog to look at. It's like hell. It's all good. It's all good. Sure, we'll make a couple million this year because we have so many videos to monetize that people can get on. And that's where we're at. And really, we just like kicking game. Here's the thing. With Will and I, we like kicking game. And we know we're talking to no one right now, but we might be talking to somebody in 2024. You know what I mean? And so if you're in 2024, right on. We're in 2021 right now. But my thing is, we just like kicking game. We've always kicked game since day one, since TDS days, and we've always analyzed and broken down things down to why people wear certain things. I mean, so we've always done this. So this is what we do. We do what we love. And so when you talk about doing something you want to do, we had to identify what do we like doing. And for me, it was no brainer. We've already done these exercises prior for other reasons. I'm watching a podcast I like to watch, and I was like, man, I like what they're doing. Shout out to Producer Grind. I like what they're doing, and I was like, man, what could I do that would be like what they're doing, and just it would create content and be easy because it's live. I immediately hit the homies up. What's up, man? Let's do this. They're like, cool, bet, let's do it. I'm like, right on. Say no more. Let's go. And so the next thing you know, you know, we get the stuff together. There was a lot of complicated shit. It's screwing up. It doesn't work. But I went and bought a new computer. What do we need to do? Oh, we need a new stream thing. Oh, we need cool. Whatever it took, we did it. Figured it out. Boom. Put some bread into it, and then next thing we did it. But the bottom line is then we just kept consistently going. You know, it's figured out what it is. You know, like I said, I wouldn't have known this. I was watching a podcast. I liked it. I was like, damn, man, I need to do this. Hit my buddy up. Let's go. You know, because it'd be easy. I said, look, we should do it about you know,
We already talk about this stuff.
yeah, this is all we talk
For
about anyway.
hours on the phone. We're not. Why not instead of talking for hours on the phone? Let's create content talking hours on YouTube.
Yeah, and that was the point of the point was like, what could we do consistently and for long enough that wouldn't be a burden on us? You know, because you have to be real with yourself. Like Will said, don't create a time limit. Well, the same thing. Don't create something too big for you to try and hop over that you can't actually achieve it. So that's what I did with Will. I knew Will had a lot of stuff on his plate. He's got a lot of things he's aspiring to do, and he would rather put his energy into that. Same thing with me. And same thing with the another person who was involved in this in the beginning as well. A lot of shit going on. Business owner. He's got a music career he's working on. There's a lot of things he's got going on. So we're like, what would be easy for us to do so we can do consistently and long enough, and it wouldn't be a burden on us to do. Oh, I know. Let's talk about, you know, laws of attraction. Let's talk about mindset. Let's talk about goal setting and achieving your dreams. That would be easy because that's all we'd talk about anyway.
That's all we talk about, anyways.
That's all we talk about anyway. Every one of us is going for something, you know. Me, the other guy who's not here, Will, you know. That's what we go for. You know, we've always been like that. So, Will and I the longest. The other guy, you know, just recently last year, you know. But like Will and I, as far as grandiose, large goals, you know, going for rap careers, going for Grammy awards, which are still coming, and going for bigger, crazier shit that people think are crazy. We don't think it's that crazy. But we failed in doing.
We're gonna run the table. We're gonna run the table
because we are now doing things consistently and working on the long enough part. Before we wanted those, but we didn't do anything consistent for the life of us. And it might not even have been the right thing at the time. You know, so now that we're locked in, it's on. You know what I mean? Because we've been able to do that, and it took doing dream boards. It took doing this stuff. It's funny. I was watching this thing on the Dogecoin millionaire guy, and he talked about 6 months before he became a millionaire, his girlfriend, or a friend that was a girl of his, a girl that was some friend he had, called him and it was like, "Yo, we should make vision boards." And he's like, "Bet, whatever, I don't care, let's do it." You know, like that sounds cool, whatever. And he's just like, whatever she wants to do. So they create a vision board, and it's just simple as they get a bunch of magazines, cut out things, and he has pictures of like Snoop Dogg and like being rich and Elon Musk and kind of like the things he wants. And he creates a little vision board because she wanted to do it. 6 months later, he's a millionaire. That's the guy I just hit up with the beat thing. But I thought it was funny because it was just this one-off part of the conversation. He's talking about that stuff, and he just happened to talk about vision boards, and I'm highly keen to that stuff. Like, same thing if you have carpet indoors in your house. I worked at Lowe's for many years. I noticed all that stuff. Hella, you know, same thing with coffee, you know, or whatever. I'm in tune to that kind of thing, and it's like someone says vision board. I'm like, I'm on it. Like, oh, what? I'm looking at this guy from financing, or from a finance piece and investing, and he says that, and I was like, oh damn, that's funny shit. It's coincidental? I don't know. 6 months later, he's a millionaire. He has pictures of Elon Musk. He invested in Elon Musk, and then he went over into Dogecoin, which Elon Musk is pushing heavy, and magically and coincidentally, okay, and I know all you guys out there are on this period, or why are you Googling frequency control? This guy is broke. He's got a car that's an old Toyota that barely runs with the mirror broken off, and it has all the residue from all the duct tape he's had on there to keep his mirror on. He wears the same sweater every day. He's this kid. And he's broke. He makes a vision board. And this wasn't even his point. He didn't even talk about it. I just tapped into that thing. He goes, yeah, then my friend wanted me to build a vision board. I just thought it was funny. That's the kind of stuff I like. You know, like he had a picture of Elon Musk, another picture of Elon Musk, and a picture of Elon Musk, like that truck he had. And then like a stack of money and then nice cars and stuff like that. And he had the word money on his vision board. And 6 months later, he's a millionaire. That's like a millionaire in cryptocurrency, which is what Elon Musk was pushing. 6 months later, he's a millionaire. From no money to a millionaire. After creating that vision board. It might be a coincidence, but coincidence that he's a millionaire, and then Elon Musk is one of the main guys he was following, that he bought that stock. He started investing.
No such thing as coincidences.
Right. But it's like all those are specifics.
Yeah.
His board has specifics on it, and that's how he got rich. How crazy is that? Through Elon Musk? Elon Musk stock is what got him rich.
See, here's the thing. It's not even crazy. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what's supposed to happen. This is how life is supposed to go. You know, people just believe, people just can't get themselves to believe this simple shit.
People prefer to believe that they deserve to be broke and struggling. That's an easier concept for you to believe in than that you should be rich and living in abundance.
And that is completely backwards. How is that even possible?
I would say this, you know how it's possible? Is that their efforts harmonize with what they're thinking. You believe you're going to live in poverty and have struggles your whole life, and your effort backs that up. You make zero effort. I know people that are no further than a drive away that won't even take advantage of an opportunity. Pot of gold's here. You have the key to it. And they won't even go to it. There's plenty of people, their action harmonizes with what they have. And so you believe you can't, you won't, right? You're totally correct. And your actions support that. Your actions harmonize with exactly what you feel. People will rather buy into the fact that, oh, that's not possible. Yes, with your level of action and effort, you're right. And belief, by the way. They all seem to harmonize. I used to always say it's because your action, but then it's funny, if you follow that action up and look a little bit deeper into it, it's their belief system is fucked up too. So it's not just your action that's screwed. Your action is screwed up because your belief system sucks. You literally start asking questions and you start going, well, oh, it's impossible. It's like, oh, that's why you're not taking any action. You don't believe in yourself. That's why. You're not doing anything because you don't believe in yourself, so you're not taking action. So like when people have an easier time believing that it's impossible as opposed to it's possible, that's why you see the following action that supports that. So that's the thing, is that's why you got to get your mind right. You know,
Yeah, your man, your thought patterns. Let me go a little scientific here. So, you make a thought, right? You make a thought, and it triggers neurotransmitters. It creates brain function, blood flow, electrical impulses. You know what I mean? Every time you make a thought. So when you make a thought and you got all these, and then you don't take any actions, you're developing neurological pathways that you lied. You know what I mean? So when you think you got, we'll just speed through, you got 48 hours to take some sort of action. Or all those impulses and those transmitters aren't going to work for you to creating more light thoughts and creating, situations and events that coming across your paths, and you finding ways to take action to do doesn't happen if you don't take action towards what you want. But how can you achieve something if you don't know what it is you want to achieve? That's why it's like you could take all the action, but you'd be like, easier to take action with a purpose because you know where you're trying to go. Because how can you achieve something you don't even know you want to achieve, other than
My thing is a lot of people
happen?
will waste a lot of years waiting for motivation, waiting for that right epiphany of like, oh, that's what I want to do. And I personally did this for quite a few years, where I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know what I want to do, and I spent a lot of years just like, I don't know what I want to do, and so then I just hang out with my friends. So I think it would be pertinent to do the exercise Will's talking about, where you should do that, Will. Not to put anything on you to do. We could do it, whatever. We should do this, where we create something of a form to fill out, to identify. You did that already?
Yeah.
Is that in the link in the description?
Not yet, because it's coming with this audio stuff.
Oh shit! Some this.
So I have an exercise. It's it's a dream building. If you don't know what you want, then you need to do an exercises to stimulate yourself. So there's an exercise, a dream building exercise. If money, write down, like, if money wasn't an object, what would you be, have, or do? Who would you be? What would you have? What would your lifestyle be like? If you don't know what you want, then maybe you need to start dreaming bigger, start thinking bigger. You do this exercise, you'll start writing down, some of these things you want, and then you can kind of go back and be like, okay, I believe I can achieve that. I believe I can achieve that. Maybe you'll make that your main game. But I have an exercise coming to help you do that. And also have a know the score chart for you as well, to be able to, help you kind of define your next logical steps and what you're doing, and kind of the money you'll create from those things. And by looking at it all the time. I know Robert just loves this type of shit. Just looking at it all the time, that number will go up, along with your actions. Oh, gosh. Anyways. Yeah. Doing the right things consistently and long enough. You got to get see. That's why that, there is an extremely important tool you don't even know you can download for free on this in this in the description area there on these on the page. Just look at it, man. If you just do these little, just this little part, just figuring out a main game and your next logical hustles, those two things you will be doing repeatedly over and over and over. And everything we talk about just kind of help narrowing down what you could be taking actions to. Because you've clearly defined what you want. And if you don't know what you want, I have a dream building exercise I'll show you to help you start thinking bigger and figuring out what it is you do want. Because, it'll help you start expanding your mind. Because if you don't know what you want, maybe you need to expand your mind a little bit. Start thinking a little bit bigger. And then you can pick out those things, those things that you wrote down. You can pick your main game and your next thing. Well, I want to achieve that next. Now you got a topic. Now you got a main game. The next goal. Now you can create your action steps on how you think, how you could get there, and then watch unfold what really happens to get you there. By doing those right things consistently and long enough. That's all I have on this subject, this round. I love this topic right here though, so I'm looking forward to visiting it down the road as well. We've done it a couple times pretty recently actually, but it's such a good thing to cut, and we went a little bit deeper this time, which I'm glad. Yeah. Enjoy the process. Delayed gratification. Live what you want out of what you want. Live that experience now. Enjoy the process. That's it from Willie Stride. Like, comment, subscribe.
Now he's a rapper. So yeah, just remember that.
Shout. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on my shoulder.
All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Go get that daily checkoff sheet. It's going to help you start your day on the right foot. I mean, really helps you kind of pat yourself on the back, let yourself know, hey, you're doing a good job, or you want to do a good job, and today will be the day you do the things that'll make you know you're on the right track. So get that. Links in the description. Again, hit that notification bell, and then comment. Let us know what you feel about this, and give us any feedback you need to give us. Peace.